In this example, we need to evaluate an expression, but we're given an application problem. So by application problem, we mean basically a word problem, and we have a little bit more work to do because we need to interpret these words to determine what we need to evaluate. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by reading the question. Okay. First, after we read the question, we're going to figure out what the goal of the problem is, and then we're going to see what information we're given to help us find that goal. So first, let's read this. Valerie has a headache and takes 750 milligrams of Tylenol. The amount A of Tylenol remaining in her body after n hours is given by the formula A equals 750 times 0.72 raised to the n power. How much of the Tylenol remains in her body after 6 hours? Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. And notice here they have our answer box. Valerie will have blank milligrams of Tylenol remaining in her body after 6 hours. So this is what we're trying to find. And also notice I'm going to highlight it here. We are trying to find how much of the Tylenol remains in her body after 6 hours. And then we're also told to round our result. Okay, so now let's see what we're given to help us determine this. So we know that she takes 650 milligrams of Tylenol. Now they tell us the amount A of Tylenol remaining in her body after n hours is given by this formula. Okay, so the formula is going to be important. I'm going to write it over here. And in addition to the formula being important, we need to know what these letters represent in the context of the problem. And this will be given to you, but I highly recommend that you write it out anyway. So notice we have a capital letter A and a little letter N. So here, notice it says the amount A of Tylenol remaining in her body. So this is amount of Tylenol remaining in her body, and it says after n hours. Okay, so that means if we put in a number n, which is measured in hours, it will tell us how much Tylenol is remaining of the 750 at that amount of time. And let's just write that n equals time in hours. Okay, so now we have this expression. So now we're going to look at our goal, how much of the Tylenol remains in her body after 6 hours. And they're giving us 6 hours. So they're going to always, or almost always I'll say, give you either one of these letters, the N or the A. And you're going to replace the variable or the letter that they give you and solve for the other one. So since they're telling us 6 hours, that's the time measured in hours. They're not giving us how much Tylenol remains. So we're given that n equals 6. And we want to evaluate this expression for n equals 6. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this entire expression. We're solving for A, that's the amount left, replacing n with 6. Now, since this is a decimal raised to an exponent, it'd be a little bit difficult to evaluate by hand, so I'm just going to use the calculator on my computer. Okay, you probably have a fancier one, but this one will do. Now I'm just going to plug in this expression. So 750, now I need parentheses, 0, oops, I forgot the time, sorry, 750, parentheses, 0.72, close parentheses, and this is the button I use for an exponent that's not 2 or 3 if you have another one, so I need 6 on the calculator. And I'm going to press equals. And now I have my results, and now I'm going to go back and they say round your answer to the nearest hundredth. So I'm going to round to this place value right here. Okay, since 5 is 5 or higher, I'm going to round up. And we have 104.49. Okay. And now they have the sentence written out for us, which is really nice, and this is something you should learn to read because you're going to need to write these later. Valerie will have 104.49 milligrams of Tylenol remaining in her body after 6 hours.